Now, I must state that before we start this, that this season has been plagued with many, many issues. The reimbursement of COVID, the whole bunker situation, the new rules on the high shots. It has all played its part, but somehow we have gone through the entire season without it being shortened, and now we are at the finals. Let's have a look at those who didn't make it. The Bulldogs. The lovable losers they currently are at the moment. Finished last place, only with about 3 or 4 wins in the season. But hey, you belted Tigers and basically ended the Towers in Tiger Town on a sour note, so well done to that. However, I do see positives coming to your way, the Bulldogs. You will get Addo Carr next season, and you're getting a bunch more other players. So I feel like this current situation is merely just a sort of Parramatta 2018. Like, they come last, but then immediately next season with a few acquisitions, they charge into the finals. Well, if you don't do that, then, well, I don't know what to say. Brisbane, congratulations, you didn't come last this year. And hell, you're not even the worst team in Queensland. Holy shit, well done, congratulations. Just a bit of a shame that, you've lost a lot of big players. But you also have signed a few. For example, Xavier Coates is going to Melbourne. Brodie Croft's going to England. Tom Deidren's gone to the Cowboys. Anthony Milford's going to Souths. Tavita Pangai Jr.'s going to the Bulldogs. But you do get the big fella in Adam Reynolds. So maybe might push for the finals? And Kurt Capewell as well? You never know. Maybe? I don't know what to say when it comes to the Cowboys. It's just, I don't know. They have re-signed a bunch of their players, or at least they're sticking with, like, the main core, maybe adding a few more players to it. But the way things are going, I don't really see them challenging for the finals until probably maybe like 2023, 2024 even, if it even is that positive. But we'll say, though, losing Jake Clifford in the middle of the season, because, I mean, he was already signed to Newcastle, but let him go early. And then in the first game you play him, you lose 42-0. It's not that great of a turnaround, I must say. On this episode of Stories from Cat City, I don't know if that is that the name of the documentary? I don't care. The West Tigers are definitely in a bit of a dire strait at the moment. They've just released 7 players who have left the club. I mean, Russell Packer actually retired, and to be completely honest, I didn't even know Russell Packer was still in the NRL, so it was good to know that he was still getting a payroll. Well done to him. Hope retirement goes well. But 2 of the big players that are leaving, Chi Cam and Mbai, it's going to be interesting to see what will happen with the Tigers. Like, are they going to blow up and start new? Who knows? But one thing I will say, I think I've already got an early prediction on who's going to get the wooden spoon next season. Now we go to Party City, the St. George Illawarra Dragons. You know what? I'm actually not even going to touch on the fact that Paul Vorton had a big party and a bunch of the St George players got suspended because, you know, there's a bit of a thing called a pandemic going on, but hell, why not? But one thing I will say though, how in God's name did you not try to re-sign Dufty? Like, he was for a period one of your best players in the season, but do you not want to succeed? Like, in all honesty, this is the third year in a row that I've done the Haters Guide to the NRL Finals, and the Dragons have always been in this situation. Like, I could just honestly take what I said in the previous 2 years and implement it here, and it probably would still work. It'll be interesting to see how the Warriors do go for next season. Of course, Royton Vasashek had to retire earlier in the season and had to fly over to New Zealand because of the borders so he can start playing rugby union. But I do feel that the Warriors do have very good elements currently going on at the moment. For example, Curran is an absolute dream boy. Reece Walsh is a pretender, but is a dream boy, but he's a very good player. I feel like a few key assets for the Warriors might actually help them and potentially push them into the finals. I have some strong faith in here. Now for the final two teams, the Canberra Raiders and the Cronulla Sharks, it came down to the final round. But unfortunately, luck was not in their favour, as Canberra had to take on the Roosters, which, in all honesty, I kind of predicted that Canberra would win, but the Roosters slapped them silly, and the Sharks only just losing to Melbourne, which then led to the team that nobody wanted making the finals in the final round. But I will say, why are the Sharks always in this position? Like, I'm fairly certain 2 years ago, it came down to the final game against the Tigers, and they unfortunately lost. But one thing is for certain, like, the Sharks have been a bit since Gallen retired, but I want to put my attention on Canberra. I don't know what the hell is going on, what kind of show that Ricky Stewart is running, but, like, the players' wives getting involved in it, like Joseph Tarpany, that's just absolutely funny. Some of their decision-making has been a bit odd. Like, for example, the game against Newcastle when they kept on deciding to taking penalty goals and the Knights ended up coming back in the second half and winning. It's just... Man, I don't know. Do we really see both teams making the finals next year? I don't know. Maybe with a few players around them. Canberra just seems to be a very in the background, like in the behind the scenes, very toxic. So hopefully they can try to get that fixed up. But both of them, yeah, a bit unfortunate that none of them can try to pip the Titans. But what can we say? Now we actually look into the actual finals. You've got a bunch of teams that are definitely the favourites. You've got two teams that for some reason are there. One more, say, than the other. Like, to be honest, how the fuck did the Knights even get into the finals with a negative 146 points? As a Knights fan, I'll still take it, however. But in terms of what I believe the actual NRL Grand Final will be, I'm sorry to say, but I'm thinking I'm seeing double. Please God, I don't want to see this again.